future, daybreak, dawn. No, these are not the words of a man trying to unlock a hidden sleeper cell agent within your DNA right now. For 3 videos in a row, I have said the same thing. This chapter is in my top 3 within the series, but now the flashback is concluded. I can officially say Kagurabachi Chapter 71 to 74 are my top within the series. So it ended seamlessly transitioning into Samura placing down the phone, and I've got to say the ending for 73 and the intro into 74 work both on a weekly reading scale and a binge reading scale, and I love that for Hokuzono. I fucking love that. Now there is something that I need to point out, and it's these trees. Now there is a theory flying around in the community that these trees are how the Hishaku know so much information. How? Because of Mr. Hat Hishaku here. His sorcery is shown within the first couple of chapters, and it allows him to create trees, and these trees are often shown at pivotal moments within the series. They're always there, just creeping around, lurking around. And also to add into this, Yura even created trees and woods in order to fight against Chihiro and the Rakuzaichi. So if you're a believer in the theory that Hatishaku here is some sort of like sleeper cell agent or like spy or something like that, your stocks might be rising here. But anyways, more of the timeline clears up within this chapter here as Yura meets with Samura seemingly for the second time. And a little detail that I noticed here is aside from Yura manhandling these 2 goons out here, Samura notices how there are 3 more outside. Now, it's just speculation from myself here, but we know that this meeting takes place after Kunishiki's death because obviously he just put the phone down and we also saw the fall of Chihiro in the last chapter. But if there are 3 more people accompanying Yura right here, then it's likely that those are the 3 who actually killed Kunishiki right here. Now, Samura quickly puts it together that Yura killed Kunishiki and that he's part of an organization, one that Yura confirms is called the Hishaku. Roll credits. Samura mentions how they're here now and it's to kill the sword bearers, to which Yura confirms and mentions how they've already disposed of one of them already. This sword bearer who is disposed of is more than likely the previous wielder of Cloud Gouger, whose name was Misaka. Now, as I was writing the script here, a thought occurred in my little noggin here that what if Misaka is this girl pictured here? Because if so, that means we would technically never meet her and we would only meet her through flashbacks, because so far we've been introduced to a good chunk of the enchanted blades. The Swordmaster wielding the Shinoichi, Samura wielding the Tobimuni, Yoji wielding the Kumayori, which is now in the hands of Hirohiku, and then Sojo who wielded the Cloud Gouger, which was formerly Misaka's. That only leaves 2 blades not yet introduced, outside of obviously Enten. Now, as we know, Kunishiki created 6 blades, Shinoichi, Tobimuni, Kumayori, and Cloud Gouger, and then Enten, which came after the war. So it makes me wonder if this woman is actually Misaka and Hokuzono is being cheeky with us and we'll only ever get to meet her through flashbacks, because the other guy that we see here was probably named Subaru, because we got his name drop a couple of chapters back and he owns a sushi place apparently. Going back to Yura's conversation here, he mentions how he's already met our quota. Now, this made me wonder if there is someone higher than Yura, or if it is just like a tongue-in-cheek joke from Yura to Samura to let him know the severity of the situation that he's in right now. Yura and Samura's conversation continues with Samura surmising that if he doesn't cooperate now, Yura will kill him, and Yura is completely confident in his answer, quote, yes, but you'll cooperate. The impending catastrophe is nigh, end quote. Now, this is where we get a deeper look into Yura's goals, and honestly, I'm of the impression now that Yura is a good guy, wrong methods type of vibe. That's the kind of vibes that I'm getting here. Samura mentions how the Hishaku are the ones who are trying to unleash another malediction, to which Yura responds, not exactly. How can you be so sure it will remain stable? Now, this is in reference to the seal that is currently protecting the Shinoichi right now, which we know Yura took a hearty amount of time to get rid of. Now, the reason he says this is because the flowers that bloomed as a result of the Shinoichi and the malediction are still present to this day on the island of Shikoku, and if the seal on the Shinoichi were as good as they thought, those flowers would more than likely disappeared and the battle would be truly over. Quote, those flowers are proof that the Swordmaster's bloodlust never waned after the war, end quote. Yura's intentions right here feel like he is trying to right the wrongs done by the quote-unquote heroes, but it also seems as if he got tired of trying the good guy the good guy way of doing things and instead just adopted a more direct and a ruthless approach. The fact that he made flyers to scatter around the city, even if they were misinformation, sort of leads to the fact that he's, you know, a bit of an activist sort of things from him here. But Yura states that the Shinoichi and the Swordmaster already once shattered everything that we imagined was possible, and they could shatter your faith in this stability anytime time too. Now, this statement right here made me wonder about the Shinoichi and the true realm of these enchanted blades as a whole. For a while now, I theorized that these blades are somewhat able to communicate with the wielder and conform to the wielder's wants. We see many examples. Shodo versus Chihiro explored this, and during the Rakuzaichi, Cloud Gouger actually started straining itself to save Chihiro. But the Shinoichi is the first time that we have seen the quote-unquote true realm of an enchanted blade, which just so happened to be the malediction. Now, this in and of itself shattered everything Samura thought was possible, so it makes me wonder if there is a true realm state for every sword, similar to a Bankai or a domain expansion or a territorial expansion. Similar to all of those things, I wonder if there is like a moment where we will see Chihiro say, you know, true realm or something along those lines and unlock a serious power upgrade. It is definitely something that I would love to see explored within the series, and hopefully within the coming chapters, maybe we might even see it from Samura himself. But Yura once again reveals his goal: to execute the Swordmaster and wield the Shinoichi. Furthermore, he mentions how it was the Swordmaster who caused the true realm of the Shinoichi to manifest as the malediction. Thus, his goal would in fact serve to end the malediction. Now, I mentioned earlier how I think Yura's goals somewhat feel like he's trying to right the wrongs of the heresy, but he's got about it the worst way possible. Correct goals, but wrong methods type of situation here. And this little statement from him sort of further backs those thoughts of mine up, because my theory so far is that Yura is somewhat of an activist, and the opposite of malediction would be a blessing, according to Google. And considering Yura keeps telling Samura the sins that he's guilty of, I wonder if Yura views himself as the righteous hero of the story, this uppity being, I guess, trying to right the wrongs. I mean, even Samura himself says he can't quite understand Yura's true intent. Oh, I just now threw up. Good lord. Going further into the conversation, Yura questions where Samura's daughter is, with Samura replying, "She was only being hurt by being with me." Now, Yura mentions how he was hoping to have another pawn to help kill the Swordmaster. For the sake of the future, I will give you a chance to atone for your sins. Again, there's that mention of sins again from Yura. Now, this statement to me could be interpreted a few ways. Number one, the pawn he referenced here could be Iori, capturing her in order to give Samura more motivation to join Yura's cause and help him work with the Hishaku. Or number two, the pawn he wants could have also actually been Iori to help fight, because he knows Iori can fight, because Samura trained. I guess that Yura has definitely been watching some more. That's just speculation on my part, but I would venture a guess as to say that's what's happening here, which is probably the least likely option, in my opinion. And then number three is that Yura isn't 100% confident that he can kill the Swordmaster on his own, hence why he needs and wants Samura's help, and as much help as he can possibly get from an experienced fighter. But let me know in the comments below what you think of this little statement here, because I do think that could be interpreted a few ways. The way Yura speaks sometimes is kind of like in tongues and in riddles. A very deceptive, sneaky man. He reminds me of Kabuto a little bit from Naruto. It's just an all-knowing dude, very sneaky-like. Now, there is one final little bit from Samura here. Quote, "We need to eradicate them at the root, to look forward to the future. We should have just executed the Swordmaster to begin with. There is no point in life anyways when I cause nothing but misery for those closest to me." End quote. Now, I have done nothing but explain my thoughts and feelings on Samura and Iori and how complex and hypocritical his character is in comparison to Iori's. Now, during the entire series of Kagurabachi, I think he might actually be the most complex character to date, easily. I don't even think Chihiro holds candle to the complexity that Samura has and Iori has within this series. Maybe I'm just biased, maybe it's just recency bias, but I don't think Hokuzono has done anything yet that even brings Chihiro close to the level of writing that we have for Samura, which is crazy to say considering Samura only got introduced at like chapter 50 or something, and that's fucking insane to say. But don't take that the wrong way, because I do think when Hokuzono finally does dive into that Chihiro background, he's gonna fucking cook. But I think these final thoughts from Samura here in this chapter really sum up the guilt and remorse this man feels for his actions. A lot more than I could ever describe or put pen to paper for. But we do switch back to Iori as we are leaving Samura's portion of the flashback, and she gives us even more details of this timeline, because about 3 years ago, her father left her with her aunt, and when word had got out about Kunishiki Rokihira's death, the Kabanabi started to monitor her. Now, we see her being alerted, obviously, to the news of Kunishiki's death by two Kaminabi agents here, informing her she could be in danger. About 6 months later, the Masumi visits Iori and informs her of the plan to overwrite every trace of Iori from the world. Now, I talked about this in the video last week, but Iori's every action was done in order to stay with her father. All of the suffering she has endured was in an effort to stay with her dad, only for him to still leave her. And now 6 months have passed and seemingly no contact between the two, which is just fucking insane to do to your kid. And she's visited by the group who were working from him, who tell her, quote, "Starting now, you are no longer Seichi Samura's daughter. I know it's been hard," end quote. And that sentence right there, being spoken to you as the child of someone who left you after you went through pain and suffering to make sure he didn't do that, probably hit like a truck and a knife through the heart, because you can see the pain on her face as she's being told this. You can. She even recounts the memories and moments of torment and suffering. As Seichi Samura's daughter, I dealt with slander and violence. As Seichi Samura's daughter, I was a prisoner. But as Seichi Samura's daughter, I got to be with my dad. I got to see my mother's last smile. And it's these words here that fully vindicate my own feelings on Samura and Iori, who was willing to walk through fire and brimstone just to be with her dad, despite all the pain it was causing her. Even on the brink of being brought into a new life, Iori's sentiments are one of those. This was all worth it. That's the vibe that you get from reading this here when you've really took it all in. And you can get a sense that Samura misjudged just how far his daughter was willing to go for him. And he also misjudged how his actions would have hurt her further from this. But Samura's last words to Iori are left on a note before she is sent into a new life. "I'm sorry I caused you nothing but pain, Dad." And you can see the tears dripping on the letter as Iori reads this, and holy fuck, these chapters are fucking breaking me, man, bro. Honest to God, these past couple of chapters, bro, have tugged on my parental heartstrings. It's disgusting what Hokuzono is doing me. I feel like I should be entitled to some sort of compensation, and if I'm not getting it from Hokuzono, I may as well get it from you, so make sure you like and subscribe while you're here. But Hokuzono has done such a phenomenal job of showing just how harrowing the circumstances are for Samura and Iori, and how they want to do better and how they want better for themselves. It's just so human. It's just human. Anyways, we finally get back to the rooftop after what feels like a lifetime, and we just see Iori completely in shell shock of the memories flooding back to her as Chihiro has just cut down Hirohiko. Now, remember, this is all happening in real time. These past couple of chapters that we've had, this is all happening in real time. Literally, as the blade connects with Hiru's fucking chest, Iori is having this domain expansion, unlimited void info dump into her brain of all of this. Now, Hirohiko is teleported away by Eyelash Hishaku here, whose name is Toto, but I prefer calling her Eyelash Hishaku because it's just funny. But it's revealed that Chihiro didn't actually go that deep on Hirohiko here, and due to Hiru's sword actually softening the blow, Hiro says that he doesn't need any treatment and demands the enchanted blade. That's a bold plan, Cotton. Let's see how that plays out for you. Now, Iori thanks Ikura for coming to the roof, and obviously this dude has walked himself into an absolute shitstorm. Quite frankly, he has no business being a part of, and he was not prepared for. Now, these goons move in to attack Iori, but Chihiro covers her rear as they both cut down their respective sides. Now, what's interesting to me here is that the Iori that Chihiro has gotten to know over the past couple of chapters isn't even going to be the same Iori that he's going to be standing beside right now. I mean, point number one is that she can and will fight in a manner that's more than capable of defending herself, interestingly. And there's this little callback here as Iori explains that as long as she closes her eyes, she's fine and she doesn't have to see the blood. And Chihiro looks absolutely confused, but I feel like this is a little callback to chapter 67 where Iori is questioning if Chihiro even sleeps. But Iori continues thinking about her dad, thinking about if she can just get strong enough to send all of this stuff flying, he'll stay with her. And it's at this point she looks up to the sky and realizes her dad is actually watching, with Chihiro pointing out that if the seal is broken, right now, Samura too will also be remembering her. Now, he also notes how he can't come and find you right now because he's on a mission. He's going to kill the contracted sword bearers. And it's at this point Iori verbalizes what I've been saying, how it was all meaningless. No matter how much she struggled, her feelings could never reach him. And it's at this point that Chihiro, to me, feels as if he pulls the big brother act. It's kind of what it feels like here. Recall that Ro had told him that if he draws Enten, Samura might try and kill him again, by the way. Also remembering what Shiba had said, that he probably took it easy on you, and if he does come back, he's probably keeping Enten for good. And simultaneously, Eyelash Shishaku and Hiru are also going through the exact same thing, with Eyelash questioning why has Chihiro resisted using Enten all of this time just to do it now. And Hiru finally has the realization that he's been played, sort of. At least that's what I think is going on here. Now, obviously, Chihiro hasn't drawn Enten because he doesn't want Samura pulling up again. That is more than enough man for him to handle. But now Samura remembers Iori, and Iori also remembers Samura. And that through right there, there is now a fucking line for Chihiro to form an alliance once again between Chihiro and Samura himself, meaning once Chihiro draws this blade, once he draws Enten, he's at a slight more advantage than what Hiro is. But it's more than just that, because Chihiro mentioned a couple of chapters ago how in chapter 67, how right now his goal is to protect Iori, and he will do that. But he also wants her to decide her own fate. It's all about what she wants right now. And right now, she wants her dad. This girl's wish of wanting to see her dad neatly ties up multiple things all at once. But I do also want to point out how a couple of chapters ago I sort of predicted, well, not even sort of, I fully predicted a round 3 between Chihiro and Hirohiko with the enchanted blades. I said the first one will be just them two have a clash, next one will be sword map, and now it's the enchanted blade time. But I was absolutely correct. However, the manner and how it's about to go down, completely different, because we're about to see a 3-way, the likes we're fucking prepared for here. But both Hirohiko and Chihiro draw their blades, Enten and Kumiori, and as they do it, the eye of the owl that blotted out the sky finally clears as feathers fall, and Iori looks up to see Samura literally flying, floating with wings in the fucking sky, wielding Toby Mune. Now, artwork aside, that is obviously and objectively fucking beautiful. This panel has so much symbolism in it that I can't even fucking wrap my head around it, so I'm gonna try my best to bullet point all the things that have come to my head. Number 1, earlier Chihiro remembers how Shiba told him Samura was probably holding back. Next time he's playing for keeps, basically. It's pretty evident here in this final panel that Samura is not fucking about. I mean, you're just not fucking about if you're growing wings and wielding swords anymore. Sephiroth vibes, you know what I'm saying? Number 2, since chapter 60, there has been a cloud looming over the gang, and Iori especially, and this owl ability of Samura's both figuratively and literally have been casting darkness over Iori and her life, and the moment she sees her dad again, that darkness has cleared and the skies start to shine bright once more. It's almost as if Iori is seeing Samura as an angel, as like this guardian angel. 3, it is funny how Samura, being blind and living in a world of darkness, himself acting like a shining light within this panel, especially for Iori. 4, the black angel wings feel as if it's a reference to a hero's fallen from grace, exactly what Samura has done. According to Google, quote, black wings are said to mean an angel has fallen or has a dark presence, denoting a sadness within, and that perfectly describes Samura right here. This dude was apparently a hero who has fallen from grace, is now working with the Shaku, and definitely fucking has a sadness within him. So yeah, either way, I'm sure that there is so much more within this one panel here that a lot more people are going to point out to me in the comments below, and I'm honestly welcome for that, all of that. But honestly, this chapter, straight up 10 out of 10. This past couple chapters, just bravissimo. Honestly, it boggles the mind how this is Hokuzono's first serialized manga, and it's this fucking special, genuinely. But as always, absolutely stellar chapter, which, by the way, if you didn't know, we read these chapters live on this YouTube channel every Sunday at 3 p.m. British time, so come hang out and do that. But as always, massive shout out to all the members on the channel. Thank you so much for supporting. And as always, I will catch you guys all in the next one. Much fucking love, big fucking kisses. Peace.